So, the qualities of a leader. I studied the rise of leaders. I studied the fall of leaders. I studied the characteristics of what it took to be a great leader. I knew before I get into anything, I wanted to study what it was and see what it was I was getting into before I got into it, because you've been having people around for centuries, great men, who were way greater than I could ever be, and we still here in this situation. So, I just wanted to take a careful analyzation of everything. I'm the true resurrection. I was a pimp back in the days, a hustler, and I resurrected myself, so now I'm here trying to lead a righteous cause for the people and lead us out of this situation, brother.
Exactly, man. Exactly. Y'all know one thing, my girl's not gonna be scared. So go ahead, Desiree.
See, I'm just analyzing. I just want to pick out the right word usage here. So, what exactly are you taking pride possession when it comes to the Black community? Is it specifically for us, or is it you have any other?
Yeah, it's definitely for us. It's a reawakening of the people. A re-educating. We've been taught wrong. From school to everything, and then not what you do see, but it's also what you don't see. There's a missing of African culture, in this European society. And if you don't know who you are, then how can you go about knowing how to act? You know what I mean? It would be like a lion not knowing they're a lion and they out acting like a dog trying to survive. You just can't make it like that. So we've had everything defined for us. We've been told who we were, how to act, what to do when we're in certain situations. We're told, well, you protest. That's the way you get through this. You're a nigger, you're a Negro. Well, now you're colored, now you black, now you're African American. So every 50 years, it seems we're getting our name changed. So it's like, who are we? And what if you don't have an identity, then how can you have a destiny?
So who are you?
Who am I? As far as my title, my position.
Who are you?
Me, I'm a man, a black man, a very proud black man, African at that. I'm a father. I care about the community as a whole. I'm also a pastor as well. I preach the word. We're very spiritual people, and our people have been led wrong spiritually as well. And so I try to come at our people from a biblical perspective, because we love the scripture so much, but we were talking from a European perspective and not an African perspective.
So you're referring to Christianity?
Yes, Christianity.
So the preachings that you teach or the sermons that you give, are they straying away from Christianity or formulated into Christianity as it should be?
In trouble, you have to seek wisdom. You have to use wisdom in the things that are around you. So you have to be like a farmer. Plant the seed. Don't go back the next day and expect it to produce fruit. I had a friend, we was best friends ever since junior high. I started talking to him about the truth, man. The man stopped talking for 5 years. But one day he called me and he said, I apologize, for this and that or whatever, but I see exactly what you're talking about. So you just basically have to study your people and learn where they at and where they coming from. You can't, you can't shock them or nothing like that. You have to see where they at. If they fell asleep at a certain point, find out where they fell asleep at, study, gain the knowledge, and find out where they coming from. Make sure you're on top of your game first, and then you can better gauge how to speak. It's a journey. You don't immediately wake up and start teaching. You sit back and you analyze and study. Just like if you was going on a job, going there day one, somebody been there for 20 years, you're going to look like a fool. And that's what we have out here. We got a bunch of Hebrews out here dressed up like Power Rangers, purple people eaters on the corner, hollering, calling out sisters, this and that, such and such. And they got some good knowledge, but the way that they coming across. And so it was my turn to step up to the plate, because I went through the process of maturing first before I started teaching. So I've been studying for years now, and now it's time to go ahead and get out here and start doing this in a very mature manner, getting some business taken care of.
I have a question.
You need to read something in order to wake up. This is why the Willie Lynch letter say they're going to be in this situation for 300 years, but don't let them read nothing from their past. Lo and behold, we was told that these were Jews in the Bible, which this is why they call Jewish, because when you're using the word ish, it's something that's like or trying to be. So they're exactly who they say they are. They are Jewish, because they're not the real true people. We are.
So what exactly...
So what's your religion?
No religion. We're a nation of people, the children of Israel. When they do things wrong, when they go against the laws of the Most High, they go into captivity. It's all like throughout the book of Judges.
So what are your typical principles that you follow?
Righteousness.
Okay.
Righteousness, 10 Commandments, everything that's written in that book that we're supposed to be doing, I do that to the best of my ability.
Okay.
Because I understand the punishment from it. You know what I'm saying? It's just like this here. You'll have a child, you know, you'll have the parents say they love this child. But yet if that child do something, you know, going contrary to the way you want them to go, if they about to hurt themselves, stick their hand in the socket, you might pop them. Well, now you're giving this child physical pain. But you say you love this child? You know, you're a parent and you love your child, but you're willing to give them physical pain to correct them? But then we'll sit up here and be the people, we supposed to be a righteous nation, a righteous people, and what we'll do, we will walk around and do things wrong and think there's no punishment, but we'll say we God's children. So then when we sit around and start getting that pain, we done been in this condition so long, we don't even, it becomes normal to us. You know what I'm saying? It's just like a lion that's in a cage. When, you know, at the circus, there ain't no lion they got out the wild. That lion was born in that condition. I wish they would. So when you born in that condition, then it grow up and it's normal, and that's what we sitting up here doing right now. We grow up in this condition and we think this is normal. This is not normal.
But you still fight against that cage though, because you know that I'm not supposed to be.
Something's wrong.
I'm a lion,
you
but
know
I'm not.
something, you know something is wrong. You just don't know exactly what's wrong. One of the scriptures say it'll be burning you like fire all around, but you'll never know what it is that's burning.
So what are you and your, I guess, your organization, how do you guys follow the life of righteousness?
We follow the life of righteousness by, you know, just simply talking about what's right, doing what's right, and talking about how important it is. We talk about family. You know, that's the most important thing. We talk about, you know, sisters with their hair. You know, we talk about eating healthy. You know, everything that is good, raising our children, building a great nation, doing something instead of just sitting around talking and running our mouth. That's righteousness, when you're doing what's right. Because you have a defense, you have a system of fight or flight. When we in this situation, we have to do something to get out of this situation. We have to be courageous when we do things.
So basically, you live with the principles of living righteousness and consciousness.
Yes.
So whenever you talk about women, are you
Burn
necessarily
on your hand that burn.
Oh, I know.
Them God-given senses that we have began to ignore. So it's trying to tell us, hey, something is wrong. And then look at the financial ramifications from it. How much are we giving to these Oriental shops, you know, over $5 billion a year, to where we going purchasing their products when our hair is beautiful, but we've been taught that our hair needs to be straightened out, it's dirty, it's nappy, it's this and that and all that. No, that's not the case at all. Our hair is beautiful. I shouldn't be walking around with my hair longer than 99% of black women.
It's a lot of strength.
That's true.
So getting to this point, talking about your position and you being a pastor, how did you come to the position where you're at right now? I believe that I was there when you got promoted. Is that the correct word?
Yeah.
So you were a soldier.
Yeah, I was soldiering up.
You soldier, then
Yeah.
and then you got the call that you were going to be the national chairman. So you are the national chairman. So I want to get that straight. National, so nationwide.
Right.
Over the People's Party. How did that come about?
Well, when I first came into the party, they realized I had a lot of great potential, you know, but they wanted to bring me along slowly, and so they basically began to train me in all the ways of a Panther, you know, what I should do, what I shouldn't do, who I should be, teach me great leadership skills, and basically take me under their wing, you know, and just show me, you know, out of Dallas, Texas, where it was all started at. You know, we went through national chairman, we had another national chairman, we had the brother Babu Omawale, who the president of the Huey P. Newton Gun Club. He became my national chairman, and he saw fit that once he retired that I go ahead and take over. He thought that I had finally arrived, and I did as well.
Okay, so now that you are in this particular position, you've done a lot. What are some of the bigger aspects of being the national chairman? Because again, talking about being a leader, talking about the brothers that you're not only inspiring, but you're also raising brothers up. I'm not going to say that you're raising men that have already been raised, but you're also raising brothers up. What are some of the aspects of the position? Because we look at Huey P. Newton, we look at the Malcolm X, we look at the Martin Luther King, we look at the black leaders that we've had, and sometimes they aren't as present as they used to be. Nobody's really paying attention to Jesse Jackson.
Right.
Nobody, even though Quanell is active, nobody's really like nationally like following behind Quanell. Farrakhan is actually probably one of the biggest people, Dr. Umar Johnson, just came down.
I was
Probably
just gonna
some,
mention him.
some of the biggest people that we actually pay attention to. And if it's not Jay-Z or Drake,
Right.
I mean, as far as being in the black community, you being in that ilk, like, what are some of the biggest aspects of that?
Dealing with the people, man, it's it's a headache. You know what I mean? But it's something that I've been knowing for a long time, so it's something I've been preparing for a long time. You know, your biggest battle gonna come from your own people, and so just having the fortitude to be able to stay strong throughout that, and not let it get you to the point to where they beat you down, because you don't need no white man to beat you down. Now here, your own people will be the ones to beat you down, tell you wrong, argue with you at every turn point. And you basically just have to know everything and know everything about everybody you're dealing with. You know, you have to have a plan. You have to have a goal. You have to give people something to follow. You know, you got to give people something to believe in. Our people have been so, hurt by all these people coming up saying they're going to change our situation, but we still here. You know, we give our money to people. We get disappointed. So at the end of the day, it's just kind of building that trust. You know what I mean? And that's what it's about. Been on the ground for about 3.5, 4 years now. Just building the trust of the people, letting them know, hey, we're getting ready to come.
So what are the positives and negatives of you being a leader?
The positives of it is seeing the response from the people. The love that you do get back from the supporters. That's a good thing about it. I guess the negatives would be you have a target on your back, and at any moment, if this movement begins to grow like we know it has the ability to grow, then the government has a program called Quanell Pro, where they're trying to take out all the black messiahs. So
Right.
if you feel, if you have the ability to be that in order to lead the people, at any moment you can be murdered without warning or without any kind of repercussions at all.
So whenever you go into public places or whenever you're speaking amongst locals, you have security
All the time.
all the time.
All the time.
So is there any fear within yourself?
Fear of God, that's it. No fear of man, no fear of anything else but that. And that's the only thing. In order to speak truth to power, that's what you have to be. This is a spiritual journey for me.
So a lot of people think that, this organization is kind of like reflecting something like
Violence or...
violence, white supremacy,
Right.
but that kind of thing, but
Yeah.
in a black way.
Right. Yeah, you have to look at who controls the media. You know what I mean? Once you know who controls the media, whoever controls the media controls the narrative. And so that's exactly what's been going on. They control how we view positivity. What should be positive for us is viewed in the media as negative. We black supremacists, this and that. And nobody has sat down and had a conversation with us. The only thing we are different from this, we broke away from the system, and we are not Democrats or Republicans. We
You're
belong
just-
to the Panther Party.
Right.
They got party at the end of their name. We got party at the end of our name as well, because we're a political party. We understand politics, and because we have not only awakened our spirituality.
They were, pro black people, pro, just positivity. And then I've also heard, they can be kind of like the
Yeah.
KKK or similar to that.
Explain that too. Explain because you are the people's.
Mhm.
So explain, because there are different branches out here.
Right.
So explain where you are in accordance to where everything came from, and if there are other parties that you like to talk about,
Yeah, most
talk about them as well.
Yeah.
And when this was started.
I'll give you the history on it. The new Black Panther Party was under the leadership of Dr. Khalid Muhammad. It started
Okay.
under
I saw
Aaron
that.
Michaels. It went to Dr. Khalid Muhammad at some point.
That's
in
what
time.
Ice Cube used to always shoot out.
Yeah.
Shout
Well,
out.
Dr. Khalid, he died in 2001. Some say it was suspicious. Some say it was natural causes. He died in 2001. Malik Zulu Shabazz became the national chairman after that. That was also controversial. Well, when Malik Zulu Shabazz got ready to retire, stepped down from the party, he just stepped down and he was going to let a vote be taken for the national chairman. Well, he didn't know that he could appoint his successor. So after he said a vote was going to be taken, he changed his mind a week later and said, nah, I'm going to go ahead and appoint somebody. Well, he appointed Hashim Mazinga as the national chairman of the New Black Panther Party. There was some more people from Houston, Dallas, where it originally started. Thought the party had started going in a Muslim route and was getting away from the original party's ideology.
Okay.
So a group of people from Houston, Dallas, Cleveland, Florida, different places, they went down to Atlanta. They had a national convention where they made a split between the party. You had Crystal Muhammad, who walked away from the national chair. She was here in Houston, Texas. And you had Hashim Mazinga. Well, Crystal Muhammad got voted out of our party. A brother by the name of Abdul Kahar from Cleveland got voted in. We decided to change the name at that point to the People's New Black Panther Party to make a distinction.
What name were you under at first?
We were under the New Black Panther Party.
Okay, so then for the People's.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. We put People's in it. We added a rocker, an extra rocker. See, we're gonna have some people wearing the patch, but then we're gonna rock the rocker to let you know we the People's Party. We are, we the ones that's bringing it back the way it's supposed. Because New Black Panther Party been around for a while.
Mm-hmm.
We don't see no kind of, whole lot of movement. This is no knock to the brothers or nothing like that. But we're not seeing the movement that we want to see. We don't want to be in this situation instead of talking for the next 20, 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready to do something right here, right now. Just go and lay me down to sleep.
So I have two questions. So how often do people want to join?
Very often now.
Okay,
we are experiencing growth at a level that the party has never grown before, and we starting to having to kind of keep it a little quiet the way we're growing. Because what people don't know is when you see Hidden Colors 4, when you see the David Banner videos, when you see all those images in there, that's us. So the government realized what we was doing, and Rudy Giuliani spoke out and said, hey, we are in the middle of a Black Panther movement. And they started, doing things to us. You know what I mean? So we kind of pulled back a little bit to kind of gather ourselves a little bit. But it's the
because there was more media attention. Yeah. And it seemed like maybe everything wasn't together as far as like everybody's vision.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. We was making a lot of noise, man. We did the Sandra Bland rally, it went nationwide.
I remember that, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We did the march on the Capitol. Outlets started picking it up. Then you start having people coming from Japan, people from London. Start trying to, reporters calling, you know what I'm saying, trying to see, hey, what's going on, shooting documentaries, this and that. We was getting a lot of media attention. We started to pull back our ranks a little bit because we were not fully prepared for the attention that we were getting, but we have regrouped, reorganized, and we're about to move forward.
So do you only accept people of African descent?
Yes, most definitely.
Can you explain why?
I didn't make the rules, so I don't know exactly what they were doing when Huey P. and Bobby Seale was sitting down making those rules, or sometimes after them. I know they got infiltrated by someone that was of non-African descent, so I'm sure it was after that point in time to where they said, hey, let's cut this off, so you can't have, you have to be of African descent, and you can't have a white mate as well.
Is it a liability cause?
No liability clause at all whatsoever. Just a rule, and like I said, I wasn't there when they made the rules, so I don't know the thinking that went into it.
Well, what do you believe?
Well, we have a culture, and in our culture, it's not good for us to race mix. Just from a natural standpoint, what the children have to go through, as far as our culture is concerned, it's just not something that we should ever do, in my opinion.
So, in your opinion, have you backtracked your entire roots from your mom and dad?
No, I haven't.
So, let's say if you had some type of
foreign
European blood.
When I look in the mirror, I see a black man, and when the lawman pulled me over, he see a black man. You know what I'm saying? So
I mean, color does, play a part in this. But I guess what I'm trying to get at is,
You're trying to say more officially, like if somebody was to do a
background
like
ancestry test.
No, I wouldn't.
Like ancestry.
I don't trust that. I mean, look who you're getting your information from.
Yeah.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? You got people who lied to you all your life. You got Donald Trump ancestors who taught you the Bible. Then you got Donald Trump ancestors who going to tell you where you come from. They're not going to tell you the truth about who you are. They haven't told us the truth in all this time. As a matter of fact, Psalms 83 verse 4 says, come and let us cut off the chosen people so their name would no longer be remembered. And guess what? Our name haven't been remembered no more. We don't even know who we are.
So no biracial, no indigenous, no Hispanic, no